Hello again. I'm so glad that you were able to read with me for the last video. I'm glad it was such a hit for some of you. I'm going to be reading another book today. It's called Inch by Inch by Lionni. And I wanted to just talk really quickly about the books that I have. The other one, Shel Silverstein, and this one by Lionni are actually really old books because some of the books I have at home that I haven't brought into my classroom are antique books that my grandma brought back for me from the library she works in. So this book is actually from 1960, and inside the pages are really old and they smell good, and it actually cost 75 cents. So fun fact for that, in 1960 these books cost 75 cents. They also didn't make that much, so times were different. But we're gonna get started with this book, and at the end I'll give some ideas for activities as well. So here we go. Yes, it does smell good, and I love the smell of books. So here's the first page. One day, a hungry robin saw an inchworm, green as an emerald, sitting on a twig. He was about to gobble him up. Don't eat me. I am an inchworm. I am useful. I measure things. Is that so? Said the robin. Then measure my tail. That's easy, said the inchworm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 inches. Just think, said the robin. My tail is 5 inches long. And with the inchworm, he flew to where other birds needed to be measured. The inchworm measured the neck of a flamingo. He measured the toucan's beak. The legs of the heron. The tail of the pheasant. Sticky pages. And the whole hummingbird. One morning, the nightingale met the inchworm. Measure my song, said the nightingale. But how can I do that, said the inchworm. I measure things, not songs. Measure my song or I'll eat you for breakfast, said the nightingale. Then the inchworm had an idea. I'll try, he said. Go ahead and sing. The nightingale sang and the inchworm measured away. He measured and measured. Inch by inch. Until he inched out of sight. The end. You can see the old pages. So, wow, I hadn't read this until recently, but I just love this author. I've read his other books, but that little inchworm is so precious, and he was able to get through his issue by coming up with a solution. So that brings me to my first activity. So there are different ways that we can look at the plot of the story. The first one, we can think about the problem that the main character, the inchworm, had, and you can think about the solution. So what was his solution? And you can make just a very simple thinking map, a flow map, with the top box being the problem and the bottom box being the solution. Again, you can just talk about this, you can think about this, or you can make a chart like this if you have time and if you have paper. And then after you figure this out, you can think about and reflect on yourself. You can think about a time you faced a problem or a challenge, and then the solution or how you were able to overcome those problems or solutions. And you can even use that as kind of like a journal prompt, or you can talk to someone at your house about it. And now that I think about it, there's no way you can get out of this question because we're all facing a problem or a challenge right now, and you can talk about ways that you're overcoming the solution. And I always give examples to my students, so I'm going to think about The problem that we're facing right now is that, well, that I'm facing right now is that I'm not in the classroom with my kiddos, but one of my solutions is that I'm filming videos to help students access their learning. Some other solutions could be I'm spending time with my dog Henry, we're going on walks, I'm reading books. So there could be many solutions to the problem that you come up with on your own, and if you want to come up with a different time in your life, oh my goodness. Excuse me, Hen! See what I have to deal with? Look. And the house is a mess because he made it a mess. Henry! See, this is a problem I have to deal with now that I'm not in the classroom. And if you stayed through this video this long, then you get a treat. You get to hear Henry. Henry! He's looking back at me like, what? This is how I handle problems. My solution is barking. Anyway, so yeah, if you want to think of a different problem you've had in your life, you can use that, or you can use now. Either way, as long as you're working on some sort of way to get your brain going, you could also do a sequencing thinking map if you want to think about an event. An event that happened at the beginning of the story, the middle, and the end. And this one doesn't actually have my labels on it, but you could do first, shaky, shaky, middle, and then last. And then you can draw the arrows that go through. So you could think of what happened to the intro at the beginning first, what happened in the middle, and then what happened last or at the end. And you could even do problem, solution that way. Anything that you want to do to think about what goes on in the story. If you have any questions, you can comment. If you want to submit your answer, if you want to be a super scholar, I will comment back for sure. I love your feedback. I know I'm not a YouTuber per se, but my purpose is just to make sure that some of my students are able to see my beautiful face, and also so that they're able to access some things, because I know not everyone is able to get on Google. We're working on it, I promise. Anyways, I love and miss you, all my students. Leave comments if you have questions or want to share your thoughts. Thank you so much. Have a good one. Bye.